Hello and welcome to Buildings of Tomorrow. My name is Jon Lester, and in today's episode we are talking about remote services. I'm joined today by Heinz Litscher. He is the Director of Global Standards Implementation at Siemens Smart Infrastructure. Heinz, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, John, having me here.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, today we're talking about remote services. Let's start at the very beginning. What do we mean when we say remote services?
So remote services, let's say, it's not really new. We do that the last 20 or 30 years. So it's really connecting our customers, buildings, infrastructures, industry remotely to service centers, technicians, which then can really reach this installation, really avoiding to go on site and also really reacting really fast. So that's here, it's nothing really new. What is maybe changing now is also it gets through digitalization much more focus than before.
Perfect. So it's as you say, it's not something that's new for us, but it's all about connecting skills and resources who are off-site to that individual site and delivering some kind of service, whether it could be engineering, commissioning, a whole different list of different inputs that they're able to do from a remote location.
Yeah, so I think it's really key. So it's not only technology, the technology enables you really to connect to the buildings, but also behind there you need pulling the know-how for this technology towards the customer and really bring these services over. And this combination, I think this is key. So technology, services, and people with the right know-how, this is key to really do it in the right way.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because, just having the technology, just having the connection doesn't really get you anything. It's been able to make the workflows and the flexibility of those skilled individuals more effective, which is one of the real benefits that comes with remote services. Now, I can imagine in the last 6 months, so since around March, the world has been under some significant challenges with the pandemic. I can imagine that remote services is one of the technologies or one of the offerings of service towards customers which has become really important. Can you give us a bit of an insight into what's changed with respect to remote services over the last 6 months?
Yeah, what really changed was the usage of all these remote connections. It was really doubling then compared to before. And this really came up to be really flexible towards the customer. So the lockdowns or even the customer itself couldn't go to the office. So there it really was key to go connect remotely and find a way with him how, for example, change settings, adapt the building to the new let's say, new situation. And then in this way, let's say, avoiding our people going to the customer and get, let's say, in contact with him. And in the same way, protect our customers to get in contact as well. So it was used widely by the entire service organization to find flexible solutions, do engineering, solving customer problems when they came across, adapting set points to for energy efficiency, etc., etc. So it was completely getting much more flexible, and people had a lot of fantasy what they can do now to really solve the problem on site, on infrastructures to do it.
Okay, perfect. So obviously the usage has gone up a huge amount, but not just the usage. Also, the way it's been used, so the task that you're able to achieve using this kind of connection. In your opinion, do you think that this change, so that this huge jump in usability or effectiveness, this huge jump in usage, is this sustainable? Is this the new way that we will deliver some of these services and approaches as an industry moving forward?
Yeah, up to now we see this is sustainable. It keeps on this higher pace. We don't know what it will get in the next months. But what we also clearly sees it will be always a combination. So you cannot do and will not do everything by remote. You need to have expertise on site. So it will be, let's say, a joint forces, combining on-site expertise with the expertise through service centers remotely, bundling experts towards one side. So it will stay in a combination. I think people now also find out, hey, that's a great way to do, because you can find solutions really easy, let's say, in combining that. So it's not one or another, it's the combination which I see.
Yeah, okay. So as an industry, I think we're learning more and more of what we're able to achieve leveraging this approach, but it will continue to be a hybrid, a two-piece solution moving forward. While we don't talk about technology specifically in general, obviously I could imagine that there are some changes in what's available to us today that makes some of these new services, these new use cases possible. So could you give us a bit of an insight? Like what can we do today that we couldn't do 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that's really made this a feasible shift as an industry?
Let's say what was maybe 10 years ago was less in is that, let's say, the entire chain. So you really can pull these experts together, and it's all digitalized. So you can bring that together. You have information about the site. You have information about the performance, the outages, etc. So you're getting much more transparency. What's happened with that, with data analytics. You can analyze it. You can prepare it, and really, let's say, it's really down much better than you could do it before.
Yeah, perfect. And I think that's an important point as well. It's not just changing set points or time schedules. It's not just doing engineering or commissioning. It can be any part of that building's life cycle can benefit from that new approach, which is a really important step for us, especially when we see what will happen in the future and what we're experiencing today. We used to be able to set a building up, and for a relatively long period of time, that building setup was consistent. But now every week, every month, the number of occupants in that building or the way that the building needs to be managed changes, and remote services is a key to that storyline. Heinz, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you as well, John. Pleasure.
It's an absolute pleasure. I get the feeling that we'll see you back again soon. So stick with us, and we'll have a bit more of a conversation at another point. And thank you everyone for joining us here on Buildings of Tomorrow. Please remember to share, like, or comment on this episode. Subscribe to us here on this channel wherever you're listening or watching us, and keep your eye out for new episodes coming every week. We'll see you soon.